the top left side red Terran player fighting from Team GGG, Dream. Bottom right side his opponent for today, the blue Terran, Bunny, representing Team NV, of course. Already a quick SCV here from Dream coming across the map. This is the scary thing, of course, as well in these mirror matchups. These quick, aggressive builds, they can have a mean punch. Looking like only one barracks being placed down there. Bunny yet woefully unaware, of course, though. Sneaky beaky. Bunny looking around, trying to figure out if there is something sneaky going on. Alright, he's looking to proxy a starport himself. No, that looks like a regular scout pattern. He's gonna just try to come in there into that base of a Dream, see what's what. He's not gonna find too much there, of course. He's gonna set off some alarm bells. Oh my, he did see it. Oh, he did see it. Oh, wow. Man, he just barely grazed it. I did not think he saw it, but very quickly here. I mean, you should know what is going on. Instead of sending the Reaper towards the aggressive front right there that is being set up against him, he's sending the Reaper across the map. He's building a bunker, and he's going to start filling that up with Marines. And this is a perfect response to the situation. That's going to counteract the entire, well, micro aspect that is going to be available here for Dream, attempting to do something with those concussive shells. That's the Reaper now showing up in the main base of a Dream. That's a lot of difficulty. I think we may already have Bunny here being victorious, sadly enough, within the first 3 minutes of this game. It's just a straight up, I scout you and I countered you kind of ordeal here. Well, the Hellion came out still, and only getting one SCV picked off. I thought he would get more, especially with that bunker there as well. We'd be able to keep repairing and stuff like that, but unfortunately those dreams do not come into fruition here for Bunny, so we'll have to salvage that bunker across the map. And doesn't get an as quick and easy victory as I initially thought he would. That Hellion not going to give up. It will burn down that bunker. Even if it does take all day. Dream still finding a little bit of frustrating damage here as well for Bunny. We'll set up shop right where that thingamajig is. Oh, the barracks. I'm not sure why he's chasing the barracks with his own barracks, but... SCV scout. Doesn't get that far anymore. I think he wanted that barracks there on the side in order to avoid the marauders running up there and then running along the side, so he would have more time to micro from that bunker and stuff. I think that was kind of the idea. And still keeping it away from marauder range from the low ground. Something like that. I think that was kind of what he was going for. Alright. So a very, very scary front to face here for Bunny, of course. Those marauders, they are not messing around. There will be a siege tank involved now. That's a big deal. Just needs to avoid getting locked onto by the cyclones. SCV is also coming down for Bunny. Alright, now the siege tank in siege mode. That could be enough to just break all of this. Repair. Oh, doesn't keep the siege tank alive. Who gets the lock on first? The repair for the blue cyclone doesn't quite come in. Now there's just a single cyclone for Dream here. Suddenly on her rampage. We'll be able to perhaps kill off a couple more of those workers and grab him the overall worker lead. Setting up shop with a third base as well. Dreamy's doing an amazing job overall. Taking a bad situation and making it actually quite a good situation for himself. Lost one of those cyclones, but he's still denying mining here. He's still sometimes picking off a unit or two. And it's not just SCVs he's targeting down. It's like really important tech units that he gets. Or just barely not getting that Raven there. Would have been a big deal. And now with that, Dream transitioning into a mech army. And now the third base on the way as well, of course. Should set him up for quite a nice way to keep going in this game right here. We're having Bio coming out for Bunny. I think that's a style that just suits Bunny a lot better as well overall already. Oof. Dream, relentless with those cyclones, coming in again and shutting down another one of those siege tanks. The cyclone era will soon pass, but for the time being, he's doing a lot with those cyclones. Would love to see the units lost tab right now. Very curious as to where that is kind of situated after all of that trading with the cyclones especially. There's that Stim and +1/+1 all starting around the same time. Bunny right now, he should be looking to grab more bases first and foremost. Try to do it securely as well, right? Not in a manner where he just keeps losing units on the edges from these cyclones. So yeah, just keep grabbing bases. Utilize your mobility to stop a Dream from doing the same thing. It's going to take him a lot longer to have a force actually capable of covering a larger area. Mostly because his units, they take longer to build. And they are just slower overall. So it's a lot easier for Bunny here now to achieve a lot of overall macro space. A place for his economy to grow. Rather than for Dream. Right, at least do it in a secure manner, right? And afterwards, Bunny can try to get that transition into an air-dominant force going. Go for those Liberators and Vikings. Ravens in particular as well, of course. Very powerful units. And then you can keep mineral dumping into Marines as well if you want to. Already have the upgrades for them, of course, and if your air army dominates the sky and against those siege tanks, then Marines, I mean, they become lethal killing machines overall against most of the other units that a mech army will have. It's just the siege tanks, right? It's just that there's so many of them. So you would need a lot of interference matrix as well. And even then, still a good concave. Alright, checking out kind of the borders here is Bunny, right? Important to keep track of your opponents. You may have the ability to keep your opponent from expanding as quickly as he would like to. But if you're not aware of his positioning, if you're not aware of where he's going, then how are you going to stop him from doing such a thing, right? Of course, Dream realizing that Bunny is he's a strong Terran, right? It's not somebody that you can underestimate, so will be going at that slower pace regardless. Because he assumes that Bunny will be making that effort. And we're seeing that he's doing that, so... Little bit of the moment, right, in TVT where things dull down. It's a lot about overall positioning now, and it's like a wrestling match. It's like seeing, you know, watching the UFC, and then just instead of the people continuously striking and kicking each other, now they're just on the ground and in a kind of a static position, trying to wrestle for control. And the thing is, as soon as somebody does manage to gain that upper hand and does gain a little bit of a better edge, a little bit more leverage in one certain area, then things can happen very, very quickly. One big stim in or one move of those siege tanks just getting a good siege position could mean the end of the game, and pretty much a total knockout, as they... no, wait, tap out by submission, you would kind of call it in one of those fights, but I guess here it could just become a TKO. To kind of keep that analogy going. Well, another thing is, I suppose, kind of similar to a tap out by submission. I was thinking about, like, what could be a tap out by submission in StarCraft 2. It would be similar to this, right? I suppose one player just containing his opponent. They're not really engaging that much, but he's just ensuring that he's gonna have more stuff ready and available on the map. And as long as his opponent doesn't manage to push out, he doesn't really have to attack himself. He can just make his opponent submit into him, and then, well, if he doesn't break free, that could be kind of considered something like that, I suppose. That is... oh, wow, there we have a big move right now. Raven's finding a lot of siege tanks here in a line, and not a lot of air presence available, so the stimmed bio now on top of those siege tanks do manage to take out most of them. But another line of siege tank quickly starts to gather right behind the old one. Gotta be careful here. Bunny not going for the scan in time, though, so the siege tanks at the back line will all siege up, but looks like Bunny already had a bit of difficulty, even against the Halberds and Cyclones, with what was remaining of his force there. Of course, also has more siege tanks coming in right behind there. So both players realize this is a place of contention where the battle is happening, trying to just run their resources to towards that location to ensure not a critical break in the line somewhere, where their opponent will be able to just keep that big swinging force moving forwards after breaking the Menagio line of their opponent. A lot of Liberators here being made by Bunny, actually. Very interesting. I'm not sure how many Vikings he has, but I've not seen that many, so I'm assuming it's not that many. Dream here has a very solid Viking. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? That's a very good amount. We might be able to have enough here, especially with those Liberators as well coming in. Liberator splash damage not to be messed with. Oh boy, this is something that may not turn out all that well for Dream. He may have underestimated the amount of air dominance that was already being obtained here by Bunny, and Bunny comes in with an enormous swing, with all of those Liberators suddenly being refueled at the same time, and mostly the siege tank army of Dream completely got caught off guard, realizing, oh my, I needed to make some tours about 2 or 3 production cycles ago, and now has 3 of them on the menu, more Widowmines and more Vikings as well. He did not realize that this transition in style was coming up as quickly as it did. Bunny sieging up more Liberators will go straight ahead. More siege tanks going down. As Bunny takes a larger portion of this map. Not sure if he should try to keep pushing in here though. The Army of Dream is slowly transitioning into something that is quite capable of handling the Army of Dream. At least as far as the air dominance is concerned. It looks like Bunny did manage to achieve quite a proper siege tank supply lead. So rather impressive for the bio player to have more siege tanks than the meching player in any battle. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. That being said though, it's not a majority enough with which he could just push in here without any other help. That other help though now comes in the form and shape of a lot of Liberators once again. Bunny not moving his siege tanks forwards though, he's just using the Liberators for now to make that space accessible. As more Vikings show up, he's gonna try to set up shop with more of those Liberators. I think they're a little bit too far away from those siege tanks, are they? Oh no, one of them is still shooting. But yeah, with the Thors and the Viking presence of Dream there, he even has a couple of SCVs ready to repair. I'm not sure if I like that maneuver there from Bunny. Going in with an unassisted air army, kind of just hoping to clear out the entire ground force in order for his ground force to start moving in. It's a weird way to kind of try and minimize losses, but in the end you're just potentially losing everything because of it, in a sense, right? You move in with that air force to take out the ground force, so your ground force doesn't get obliterated as it's moving in to take that space. Then at the same time, you're just going to have much more stuff shooting you at the same time in the stores. They will just happily shoot for a very long while onto your Liberators. Maybe with some Marauders stimmed in with Marines there as well, and some siege tanks moving forward, so you're going to be able to take out that DPS more quicker. Here we go. This is a much more committed attack now by Bunny, it looks like, is bringing in absolutely everything. And will this now be enough? The air dominance does go into favor for Dream, but overall the trading, it seems kind of equal, and that is usually a great sign for the bio player. Remember the enormous amount of map he already gathered up, and yeah, Bunny now, he was just building missile turrets and sensor towers in the front side of Dream's natural base. Top right side for game number 2, the Red Terran Dream fighting for good game gaming. Bottom left side, the Team Envy player in the blue, Bunny, is bringing the blue. He's bringing the blue and he's robbing the red. Robbing the red. No, that does sound... Rocking the red is still the best, isn't it? It's still the best. Rocking the red and bobbing the blue. Oh, what's this? Alright, Dream found his previous proxy to not be successful enough. Decides to double down on it this time around. Brings 2 SCVs along. That means 2 barracks. Duh. Twee. Zwei barracks. See what Bunny is going for here. He does have the double gas, so that's a good sign. Would be great, of course, if he does manage to get a scout out on the map. I don't think we have any SCVs for him moving across just so far yet. Maybe... Oh, wait. There is something moving across. That might be a red... It is blue. I believe it's blue. I might be colorblind. I'm looking quite deeply on the minimap right now. The way I stream this might not be the best for my overall neck, but I may have to look into fixing that anyway. I only see one SCV here, so I'm assuming that's a blue SCV. Especially now because it's being chased by red SCVs on that minimap. That's the Reaper. I really hope it was a blue SCV. I'd be very embarrassed if it wasn't at this stage in the game. We're just going to say it was, alright? There we go. The first... Well, maybe it wasn't because he had no idea what was coming. Well... Oh, pure panic ensues as Bunny is caught with his pants down. 2 Reapers versus 2 Reapers right now. There's a lot of SCVs helping out. The first Reaper dies for the Red Terran Dream here. Needs to try and ensure that that bunker is going to get produced. That would be very, very lovely for him. More Reapers in the production tab, actually, of course, for Mr. Dream, trying to grab that advantage. Now with a Hellion and a Marine here as well. Things might get a bit more dicey. Might be more difficult to actually get some damage done. And it looks like Bunny, in a double gas opening, once again proves that it may not be the most economic advantageous, but it's gonna keep you safe. It's gonna keep you alive when your opponent does stuff like this. Going for that second base now rather quickly. Bunny here, I like it. Realizing that he should be okay overall. Shouldn't be another follow-up of Reapers that he suddenly cannot handle at this point in time anymore. Unless if there's suddenly 3 or 4 barracks, of course, producing Reapers. But highly unlikely situation. So yeah, going for that command center right now. Dream going for his own command center as well after the failed attack. After the failed aggression. Keeping his Reapers, of course, around on that low ground in a nice line. Avoiding Hellion splash damage if Bunny does decide to try and push down his own ramp. Meanwhile, of course, giving Dream the opportunity to deny Bunny the command center building on the low ground. Flying barracks indicating the end of times for the Reaper production. Oh, little Cyclone there getting helped out. Those Reaper nades actually bringing the low HP units a little bit further to the back line. Quite fun to see. SCVs for Bunny now trying to repair everything as well. As the Red Reapers try to just make life difficult for these units right now. As well as the barracks there. He was thinking about blocking or trying to block the command center from going down for a little bit. Would have been a nice attempt, but yeah, then the units of Bunny were coming in as well. It's difficult to do. Dream now finding a very quick angle, quick thinking. Flanks with the Reapers immediately as he sees that army going to the low ground. Finds a couple of SCVs, 4 of them overall. It will be enough to put him ahead with 2 SCVs on the work account. So that's something, I suppose. And he's grabbing a quicker third base. He did manage to trade out over on his opponent, so... Well, I think, you know what, yeah, Dream does manage to slightly get an advantage here over Bunny this time around. Even with that Reaper aggression not really working out that much for a longer period of time. Something to note, though, is the siege tank counts for Bunny here going to be much higher than that of Dream. Or at least it should be, right? Theoretically speaking, unless if we have him going for mech again. We may have him... No, he will go for the barracks as well. Alright, so I was wrong there. I guess it was the Hellion production and then the Cyclone production as well, of course. Alright. Alright, yeah. Well, looking at the overall advantage that I can clearly see is that Bunny's army advantage is still there. It's 32 versus 23. Which could be significant enough for him to deny a third base of Dream here for a while. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to push into the natural base. That might be too high of a target to try and reach for. But just setting up shop here outside of the natural base, yeah, man, go for it. This is a great way to try and utilize that army advantage you have right now. You just got to be wary that your opponent doesn't send a couple of medevacts across the map with a bunch of marines or some siege tanks as well in there and just suddenly obliterates one of your worker lines, of course. That is the one thing you really have to be aware of. But other than that, if Bunny manages to maintain this position right here, keeps Dream from sending out any units to try and have that third base a secure place, this is a wonderful play here for Bunny. Who does now have that third base, of course, now landed and producing SCVs like a happy little command center. Like a little happy command center boy. Oh. Unexpected siege tank shot just decimates that marine right there. It's like, oh, that's a command center coming. I'll make Bunny proud of me. I'll take down a command center. Instant regret. Bunny taking out the rooks behind him, making his distance to reinforce this area a lot easier to manage, and it just gives him a way to retreat as well if he needs to. Not sure if he already took him out entirely, but they must be a little bit low right now. Alright, there we go. Yeah, just utilizing the minimum amount of force in order to shoot it down in case there is the move out from Dream here. Doesn't want to have to, you know, stop those siege tanks from shooting and actually get like a potential missed volley of a couple of siege tank shots there. That's a big fight occurring. The Ravens fall. Dream doing a massive job with those interference matrices. Bunny's Vikings were not able to shut those down before most of that energy was spent. And now Bunny on the run, trying to get back to his own safe harbor here. That being said, holding that position and up until the very end, where Dream was able to break him, did cause him to lose that army advantage. He did have that third base mining for a little bit longer, but it doesn't look like he managed to obtain any real SCV or economic advantage. That is all too significant in comparison to what he lost on the other side of the map. Now Dream on the same shoes on the other foot kind of type of deal. But Bunny in a bit of a better setup to ensure the third base will not be stopped mining from. As a fourth base for Dream already coming up as well. We'll be looking to take that one. Oh. Big engagement there from Bunny. Maybe a bit too much for him to handle. That small cluster of Marines just looking for a mineral line probably to engage into. Or a lone siege tank or something like that. Dream going on the other side of the map with a similar force here. As he is pushing on the left side mostly with that main army. Oh. Little sensor tower there getting sniped out. No siege tank in position to protect it against that small cluster of Marines. Bunny puts it a little bit in a safer spot right now, more to the edge. He's going to be less aware of the movement that is on the top ridge right now, but will still pick up on it. We'll see this movement of Dream attempting to claim the ridge, the peninsula, overlooking that third base and the exit of the natural. Yeah, bad fight there from Bunny. Quite a bad fight, actually. Not sure what made him think he would be able to take that engagement right there. He was behind on upgrades. Overall, right now we have another fight with the Marines of Bunny missing. That is just going to fall in favor for Dream right there. GG is called quite quickly.